I did a drawing challenge and I drew 100 heads in 10 days. Actually, less than 10 days, but we'll talk about that. Stay tuned. Welcome to Art with Kiwi, a place where I challenge myself to try new things, learn from my mistakes, and simply document my art progression. So one day I can look back on all this and hopefully see that I have, in fact, improved. And I hope through my process that it can inspire you that no matter where you're at in your creative project, that you can start creating art too. Thanks for being here. So if you don't know, the drawing challenge of drawing 100 heads in 10 days was something that another YouTubing artist put together years ago, I guess. I don't even know. And I'll try to link his channel below and the Pinterest board that he created, but I did not end up using that Pinterest board because I have been kind of collecting faces on my Pinterest boards since probably the introduction of Pinterest and its first existence. I only had about 57 faces saved, so I went ahead and filled out the rest of that Pinterest board and I started drawing faces. So the first 3 were actually already animated faces, so I kind of just went along with the style that was in the animation and kind of see that they had a distinct style. But then from there, every other one was actually a still photo of a real human person. This was a really interesting challenge. I loved the variation in all of the faces. It was really fun to just see where I went with it, with where my style kind of took me, as I'm still honestly trying to develop my own style. I started realizing I was really getting into trying to be real detailed with all of my faces, which I went ahead and let myself be detailed, because as I go, I think the more I am looking for my style, I want to just kind of lean into what I'm doing and understand that my style is more about my enjoyment of the process and not so much looking a certain way, but that I enjoy the process of creating art that comes out looking a certain way, if that makes sense. Just a fun side note, as I'm picking flowers in my garden, you can see it here, I am actually collecting seed to save for future flowers next year. It's really easy to save seed from marigolds, and you get tons of seeds from just one dried seed head or flower head. So cool. I haven't bought marigold seeds in probably 15 years. I got probably 5 or 6 days into this challenge and realized the weekend was coming up and it was going to be very busy and I wasn't going to actually have time to draw anymore. So I went ahead and crammed in to the 9th day all of the final faces to finish up. So I kind of got a little tired as I went on because I was sitting for hours drawing these faces. But I thought it was a fun challenge to push myself and actually get it done and get it done on time. And you'll see as we progress, some of my faces do tend to change, like the actual style of it. Something else that was kind of fun about the Pinterest board that I had made, and I had started this from years ago, was just as I kept going down the list from the newest ones I had pinned to the oldest, I remembered pinning those oldest faces and pinning them with the intention of drawing them one day, but I never actually got around to it just because they were very intriguing faces to me and memorable too. So it was really fun and encouraging to go ahead and sit down and finally do that, finally actually do the thing that I thought would be fun to do, because it actually was fun to do. So if you have a reserve of references that you've been wanting to draw or paint or whatever, I encourage you to to take this as your sign to just do the thing. Just challenge yourself to do X amount in X amount of days, and just prioritize the time to do it, because you won't regret it. It's satisfying. So about this time in my process that I was getting into those older faces, older as in just the ones that I had pinned in the early 2000s. So like we're talking 2006, 2008. I don't know about when Pinterest came out, but you can kind of see even in the hairstyles, you see the side parts and the big bangs. So that was kind of fun to just relive that era of time as I was drawing these faces. Also, it was really cool the vast variety of ages that I had pinned, like little children and old people, and also ethnicities, because there were a lot of little things about facial features that were vastly different from one face to the next, and it just made it really interesting. And I definitely found some preferences that I had of face types that I enjoyed creating, or ones that were more difficult, particularly getting the age correctly, to get the age to come across on the page. But this was the point where I started minimalizing my drawings. So this was that last day, and I was really pushing to try and get all of the drawings done. My hands were cramping a little bit at this point too, but it was kind of fun to see how my style kind of evolved here, where I started backing off on the detail and the shading, and have these little kind of dot eyes, and I don't know, it was a fun part of the process, and kind of surprising to me even to see when I'm trying to pare back the details, where my focus was on what details I took in and prioritized in the drawing process. So as I create this little bouquet, one of the last ones of the year probably, because we're winding down on the growing season here in southeast Missouri. I hope that this video has been enjoyable for you to watch, and I hope that you have some inspiration for your own art project to set yourself a little timed challenge like this, like the 100 heads in 10 days, because you can accomplish a lot more than you think when you set yourself to it and give yourself a deadline. At least I do. I kind of work that way, of being able to accomplish more when I have a deadline. So again, you can see just that little style difference of all of the details, where I prioritized what details mattered. And I think that's kind of cool, and kind of showcasing the styles that we have, because as artists, we're all just prioritizing information when we translate that into our art, and I think that's what gives us our unique styles. So just allowing that to happen and enjoying the process along the way. I hope you enjoyed this video and were inspired to continue working on your own projects. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.